And he's pointing up this giant coconut tree with a look on his face that says, "Haha, yeah, right. I know none of you are brave enough to do this." So, I wake up the next morning, having drank a fair deal of the local rum with the fellas last night, to find a German couple had just arrived. Guten Morgen, wie geht's? Es geht gut, danke. But I'm American. I don't really speak German. Ah, yes, okay. We think this place is a ripoff. Yeah, me too. So we will leave tomorrow, but today we want to explore. Do you want to come with us? And even though I wasn't feeling 100%, I said yes. Yes, I do. Because it had been some time since I was in the company of other Western people who I could speak with. Because at that time, I was not at all accustomed to communicating without words. Not like I would become in the years following. No, at that time, I thought communication meant using words. At this time, I just had this deep longing to be understood. So me and the Germans spend a nice little day exploring the backwaters of Kerala. In certain places, the locals have set up this thing where, for the equivalent of like $4, they will essentially just take you on a tour of where they live. So the backwaters are basically villages strung together and connected by roadways of water. There are no actual pavement roads, just channels of water. They navigate using these beautifully handmade dugout wooden boats. Basically, it's a giant tree trunk they split in half and hollow out the inside. They're very sturdy feeling. They showed us these handmade ponds. They're very shallow, where they commercially grow both lotus flowers and some variety of crawfish. They had to put these nets over the ponds so the big tropical birds wouldn't swoop down and eat all the crawfish. We stopped at this lady's house, where they showed us how they use the fibers from the outside of the coconut husk to make rope. It's quite an incredible process, actually. Very old school.
Ah, the other way.
The guy asked us, "Do you want something to drink, my friend?" "Yes, please." "Okay, it's up there." And he's pointing up this giant coconut tree with a look on his face that says, "Haha, yeah, right. I know none of you are brave enough to do this." And he was almost right. There were no ladders, there was no rope. I wasn't going up there. But it turns out the German was a rock climber, of course. And to the slight disappointment / amazement of the villagers, the German barebacked his way up the tree and retrieved us some of the beautiful young coconuts. At once, the man took his machete and cracked them open without a single misguided strike. Ah, victory. Well done, my friend. The following day comes, and the Germans invite me to travel with them for a while because we enjoy each other's company. Hey, Nate, do you want to travel together for a while? Sure. So we leave the guest house of the ripoff and make our way to the bus station, a different one than before. But this bus station just happens to be directly on the river. And there I see a sign that says the name of the village we're going to, and then by taxi, a certain price, by bus, a certain price, by boat, a certain price. I thought, by boat. But there was no reason for me to be making the journey by boat. I didn't know if that boat would actually take me there. Plus, why would I risk being separated from my newfound friends? And we had already purchased our bus tickets, which were like $1, but we were literally on the bus. In a few moments, we'd be pulling out of the bus station and on the road. But then I just got this feeling, sort of in my stomach, chest, heart area, that was telling me, get off the bus and get on a boat. It doesn't matter why. So I get off the bus. All right, guys, I'm gonna take the boat instead. What? Why? I don't know. I'm just gonna take the boat. I'll meet you guys at the guest house. Okay. See you at the guest house. And at this time, I am just beginning to understand the power of intuition and what it means to be guided by a power so much greater than the mind. And so here I am, following my intuition. The boat driver must have seen the intuition just pouring out of me, and so he asked me if he could take a photo with me, with my camera. The boat ride began beautifully. Breathtaking landscape was, of course, the first thing I noticed. We were maneuvering through these backwater alleyways that seemed to cut right through people's backyards and right up close into the intimate parts of their day-to-day life. At some points, it felt literally like we were rowing a boat through their living room. It felt very intimate. But after a couple hours like this, I began to notice things that just made me feel sad inside. Trash everywhere. And everywhere I looked, I began seeing what appeared like, to my Western eyes at the time, extreme poverty. I then went in to the little cabin on the boat to use the toilet, and to my horror, I saw that the toilet was nothing more than a pipe that went directly into the water. You could see the river below us. No sooner did I exit the toilet than I saw this lady washing her hair and bathing in the exact same water. I then began to notice everyone's bathing in it. And there are dozens of these, or hundreds even, of these boats on this riverway. All no doubt doing the same thing with the toilets, and who knows what else. I began noticing sewage pipes draining directly into the river. My head began to spin. Why are these people living like this? Don't they know how contaminated and disgusting this water is? Why are people dumping trash everywhere? This doesn't make any sense. Don't they know how incredibly detrimental and harmful all this plastic and trash is to these waters? Just as I was sinking into this feeling of despair, this beautiful young girl sits down next to me. And I thought I was the only one on the boat, actually. What book are you reading? Her English was very understandable. Oh, it's just a guidebook. She takes the book and begins to read it. I was impressed. Not only could she speak, she could read English. Well, to my welcomed amazement, I had met my first very well-educated Indian. Immediately, we began talking about all sorts of things. This girl was so intelligent, so sharp, and so clear in the mind. And she spoke such perfectly fluent English with this calm, soothing demeanor, very pleasant to talk to. I had so many questions for her. Over the course of our 3 or 4 hour conversation, she would illuminate me to things that would change my entire perception of the country I was in. I asked her, so why are the people living like this? Why are they bathing in this disgusting water? After a moment of contemplation, she responded, because they have no other choice. They have no running water, no plumbing. These riverways are the only water they have available to them. These people have lived like this for thousands of years, and they have flourished in a natural sort of harmony with the ecosystem. It is only in the last 50 years, since industry has arrived, that things have become so terrible and polluted. And I'm thinking, whoa, she's right. She's absolutely right. But so what about all this trash? Don't they know they're poisoning the environment by just throwing the trash wherever they feel like? Again, after a long pause for contemplation, she responds, for thousands of years, India has existed in relative harmony with the laws of nature. Until just 50 years ago, everything we used was biodegradable. All of our packaging was made of banana leaf or coconut fibers. All of our vessels were made of clay or animal skins of some type. And our food had no packaging because it didn't have to be transported or put on shelves. It was always fresh from here. Very rarely, maybe someone would have something made of metal, but other than that, everything we used would quickly return to the earth. So it didn't really matter where we disposed of it. It all became like compost in the end. I thought, whoa, okay, she's making sense. But still, why don't they dispose of it properly, like we do in America? Because a culture that is 10,000 years old doesn't just change overnight. It may take several generations before this issue is solved. But the problem, the mistake, is not with the people and how they are dealing with the plastic that never decomposes. No, the mistake, the problem, is that the plastic has ever been manufactured in the first place. The only real fault lies with the people who are manufacturing this poison. The people are just doing what they have done for thousands of years. All at once, so many things begin to make sense now. My self-generated contempt for the villagers and how I thought they were dealing with the plastic in the wrong way. It began to dissolve as this intelligent young woman opened my eyes to see this complex issue in an entirely new way. Thank you, young wise woman. You have no idea how impactful our chance meeting on the boat was to the evolution of my journey.